My name is Gareth Banks. I'm the Head of Sustainability at Orangebox, and today we're just doing a very short video to describe how to change the TPU armpad element on our Recur range of task chairs. Like a lot of our task chairs, the arms on this particular range of chairs are designed specifically to be very easy to change in case over time they get any degradation or accidental damage. And of course, from a sustainability perspective, this is exactly what we want. We want the chairs to be able to last as long as we possibly can, and even better, as and when repairs are required, can they be done on site, to save transportation impacts and the hassle of having to ship a chair back to Orangebox. So the arm pad on a Recur chair, just like other Orangebox arm pads, are very easy to change in situ. And I'll just talk you through how to do that now. There are actually two slight variations of design of arm on the Recur chair. We have a standard height adjustable version, and we also have slightly more sophisticated, which has got arm pad depth adjustment as well. So this one still goes up and down, but the arm pad itself can move back and forth. This is really useful at the end of the day, or if you want to tuck yourself in to get a little bit closer to the desk, you push the arm back a bit further, and that allows you to get a bit closer to the desk again. I've simulated some damage with a standing knife on the front of this. This is if this arm pad got repeatedly bashed into a chair, into the table over a long time, you might see the TPU split like that. And this is the sort of thing that we might want to actually change. So I'll talk you through that. It's very, very simple. In actual fact, all you need is one particular tool. In this case, it is a Phillips No. 2 screwdriver. I certainly don't need to remove the arm from the chair, but I'm going to demonstrate it on an arm pad here, which is actually removed from the chair, just so you can see a little bit easier what's going on underneath. Okay, and for speed, instead of using a manual screwdriver, I'm just going to use an electric screwdriver instead, because it's just a little bit quicker. So on both designs of arm, there is just 3 screws that we need to remove. You can see here they are, 3 Phillips screws. On the sliding arm pad version, you actually have to move the pad to get access to the one at the back. So all I have to do is to start by removing the screws, trying to make sure I don't fire them off onto the carpet, so I can get them back in a minute. And then if I move that one forward, there we go. Now, as you'll see, the whole top pad element comes away. If I could just put the pad to one side. Before I take this apart any further, I'll just talk about the design development over the years of arm pads, because this is something that we've been working on from a sustainability perspective. If we cast the clock back over a decade, 10, 15 years ago, we and most other manufacturers were making arm pads like this. So self-skinning PU with steel insert plates. This is a very common construction methodology, and it does a good job. However, at end of life, of course, you've got materials that are very difficult to separate. So a few years ago, we moved to a slightly more sophisticated construction technique. This is an arm pad off our Do chair, but lots of other of our chairs are designed like this as well, where instead of having materials that can't be separated, here we've got materials that are very easily separated at end of life. And here, so this is the Do arm pad construction. You can see we're using a recycled foam insert, a recycled arm pad inner, and then this TPU element which clips over the top. A little bit like putting the lid on Tupperware. The Recur chair, because we're always looking to go one step further, the Recur chair is even better again, because instead of 3 elements, we've still got that kind of Tupperware idea, but by designing in this integral spring construction onto the inside of the TPU pad, we've done away with the foam element. So we've taken 3 bits down to 2, easier to deal with at end of life, less materials overall. So yeah, a really nice little innovation for the Recur chair. So as you can see, it's dead easy to take the TPU pad off. And if I was to replace it with a new one, all I need to do is to make sure I put it on the right way around. So the Recur chair, just like it doesn't matter which side of the chair it's going on. So left-hand side and right-hand side are the same, but we just need to make sure that the orientation is correct because this pad is slightly different at the back than it is at the front in terms of its aesthetic shape. Slightly curvier at the back, slightly sharper at the front. So all I need to do is to slide the pad over its support insert, and press it all the way around, and it's got a very satisfying click. You can feel when it's in situ nicely. Another little detail here, while I've got the pad off, as you can see here, all of our plastic parts have got material identifiers on them, especially the larger parts. So that, again, from a sustainability perspective, really helps at end of life. When a time comes for recycling, somebody has got to know what type of material this is, and that really helps if you've got a material identifier on there which tells you that. So this little, these little digits here, PA6, that tells me that's polyamide 6 or nylon 6, and the GF30 after it tells me it's 30% glass fill. So this is a 30% glass filled nylon component. So to put it back onto the chair, now I've clipped it in place onto its support part, all I need to do, again, making sure the more rounded bit is at the back, is bring the two together. And I can see I'm going to get a nice crisp line. That tells me it's kind of in the right place. And then all I need to do is to reverse putting the screws back in again. So I'll start with this screw at the back of the pad. The only thing to note on putting the screws back in is to not to over torque them. We don't use brass inserts, we don't use metal inserts in our plastic parts, again, to help with recycling at end of life. So these are self-tapping screws. So we just want to make sure that we're not doing them up with too much torque. Now, because I've got an electric screwdriver here, I've set the clutch on this, so it's not going to over torque it. If you're doing it by hand, you can feel when it's docked up nice and tight. So that's as simple as that. 3 screws back in, and that arm pad, as good as new, ready to reuse. The last part of this video is just a quick comment about the best thing to do maybe at the end of the day if you are using a Recur chair or any task chair really. One thing that will help maintain the quality of the arm pads over time is to make sure they're not continually being smashed into tabletops. So especially in areas where you've got high churn environments, i.e. you've got more than one person likely to use that chair through a working week, or even more than one person a day. A good thing to do is, at the end of the day, is to put the arms in their lowest position so that you can guarantee that it'll tuck under the chair quite nicely without clashing. You're not getting excess abrasion on the front of the arm pad. That will also help with the person that comes to sit in the chair the next day. They're actually slightly more likely, because the arms will be so low, to adjust it to a height that perfectly suits them.